Hey guys, Miss Raymond here today to continue learning about poetry. Today we're going to learn about two types of poems, haikus and limericks. And you'll find that both of these types of poems are very short, but they're very different from each other. Okay, so we're going to start out with haiku. A haiku is a Japanese poem with only three lines of 5, 7, and 5 syllables for a total of 17 syllables. So every haiku is going to have 5, 7, and 5. It does not rhyme, and it's usually about some aspect of nature, something to do with the seasons, winter, spring, summer, fall, and captures a moment in time. So here's an example about a frog. Little frog among rain-shaken leaves, are you too splashed with fresh green paint? All right, we're going to look at a couple other examples of haikus. It is a Japanese type of poetry, so this top one here is by a famous Japanese haiku writer, Basho. On a weathered branch, a crow has settled, autumn nightfall. You can see it's about nature. Now here's one that was written about Twinkies, which has nothing to do with nature, so sometimes people don't go the traditional route. So this one reads, Twinkies, moist golden sponge cake, creamy white filling of joy. Boy, I love Twinkies. So that wouldn't be really a traditional haiku, but you could get creative and write your own. All right, so we're going to watch a haiku video about a cat named Haiku, and throughout the video, the cat is going to tell us a bunch of haikus.
A cat named Haiku. My name is Haiku. Mischief is my middle name. You'll soon find out why. Mark is my owner. He's strictly by the book. Oh, how boring. He has just one rule. He expects me to behave. Where's the fun in that? Cat toys are fine, but boredom gets the best of me. Trouble, here I come. Leftover ice cream, making chocolate paw prints. Oh, how I love thee. How about some yarn? It's like soccer for kittens. Haiku shoots, he scores. I like Mark's goldfish, served with a saucer of milk. Hello, daytime snack. Porcelain cat dish. Mark says, you are disgusting. How refreshing. Must not claw window. The sweet siren calls to me. She made me do it. Can't control myself. I've already pressed my luck. This feels so good. Oh, hi, little fly. Where do you think you're going? The thrill of the hunt. Hey, get off my nose. You're not supposed to catch me. How embarrassing. You can't escape me. Haiku, king of the jungle. Fear my mighty roar.
Bad kitty, get down.
Wait, Mark, let's talk this over. Eek, water bottle.
Get back here, Haiku.
Too late to start listening. Feet don't fail me now. Hide under the bed. Stay still so I can't be found. Look, a dust bunny. Quiet as a mouse. Tiptoe across the wood floor. Let's go search for Mark. He is still angry. Offer an apology? All is forgiven. Good days and bad days will always stay best of friends. The life of a cat.
All right, so hopefully you could see throughout that video that on each screen there was a new haiku that had something to do with the cat. All right. Now we're going to talk about limericks. All right, so limerick. A limerick is a funny poem of 5 lines. Lines 1, 2, and 5 rhyme, and lines 3 and 4 are shorter, and those 2 lines rhyme. And then line 5 is going to refer back to line 1 and rhyme with line 1. Limericks are a kind of nonsense poem. They're funny. They don't always necessarily make a lot of sense, but they're just kind of humorous. So here's an example. There seems to be a problem. I really don't know about Jim. When he comes to our farm for a swim, the fish, as a rule, jump out of the pool. Is there something the matter with him? Okay, so you can see how line 1, Jim, and line 2, swim, and then line 5, him, all rhyme, and then 3 and 4, rule and pool rhyme. All right, here's another example of a limerick. I remember a fellow named Louis who ate 17 bowls of chop suey. When the 18th was brought, he became overwrought, and we watched as poor Louis went bluey. All right, so I'm going to talk about how limericks became famous. They were made famous by an Englishman named Edward Lear, who wrote a book of limericks called A Book of Nonsense in 1861. Here is one of his most famous limericks. There was an old man with a beard who said, "It is just as I feared. 2 owls and a hen, 4 larks and a wren have all built their nest in my beard." You can see it's funny, it's humorous, and it rhymes. All right, so we are going to watch a quick little video clip to hear some more of Edward Lear's famous limericks, excuse me.
There was an old man in a tree, by Edward Lear. There was an old man in a tree who was horribly bored by a bee. When they said, "Does it buzz?" he replied, "Yes, it does. It's a regular brute of a bee." There was an old man in a tree, by Edward Lear. There was an old man in a tree who was horribly bored by a bee. When they said, "Does it buzz?" he replied, "Yes, it does. It's a regular brute of a bee." There was an old man with a beard, by Edward Lear. There was an old man with a beard who said, "It is just as I feared. 2 owls and a hen, 4 larks and a wren have all built their nests in my beard."
All right, so hopefully you enjoyed some limericks. All right, here are a couple, we're gonna have a few questions. So if you need to pause to get paper and pencil, go ahead and do that. All you need to do is write down A, B, C, or D, and then we will go over the answers. All right, so how many lines does a haiku poem have? Is it A4, B3, C7, or D5? All right, question 2, a haiku poem usually rhymes. Is that A, true, or B, false? All right, question 3, what is usually the subject of a haiku? Is it A, colors, B, nature, C, school, or D, people? All right, write down the best answer. Question 4, how many lines should a limerick have? A4, B8, C5, or D7? And which of the following describe a limerick? A, funny, B, full of nonsense, C, rhyme, or D, all of the above? All right, and here are our answers. So let's go back and check. So 1 was C. So how many lines does a haiku poem have? And it is 7. Actually, that is not correct. Let's go back and double check. I believe it is 3. Yes. So Miss Raymond wrote down the wrong answer. So for number 1, it should be B3. All right, question number 2. A haiku poem usually rhymes, and that answer should be B, false. All right. Question 3. What is usually the subject of a haiku? It should be B, nature. Number 4. How many lines should a limerick have? And that one should be D, 7. Is that right? Let's double check. I made a mistake earlier. So let's see. I believe it's 5. Yep. So how many lines should a limerick have? It should be C5. And for number 5, which of the following describes a limerick? Funny, full of nonsense, rhyme. So it should be D, all of the above. All right. So other than the one, I have written down the correct answers. So for this first one, number 1 should have been B instead of C. So I apologize for that mistake. All right, well, hopefully you learned something today about haiku and limericks, and you will be doing some practice with your own, reading some poems and trying to write some of your own. All right, so that's all I have for today.